Do you have to do anything to get there? Like, I'm like, no, that's not how it is. And nobody, like, I'll tell you from my experience, if you don't want to do something, it doesn't make you feel right. You don't have to do it. Nobody's gonna force you. Nobody's gonna force you. And I don't know why people have that thought that you have to do something to get somewhere. It's not necessary. It's not necessary.
The stereotypes around fashion models is so wrong. Even stereotyping the profession in itself is wrong. So while conversing with Aishwarya Mour throughout the episode, I had the chance to talk about her journey over the last 6 years, how it helped her to be less naive and understand herself and her surrounding better, how being a fashion model had its own ups and downs, but she became more confident than ever before. So do listen to the episode till the end because it's a really fun and empowering podcast. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for doing this episode with me today. I'm really pumped up and excited to do this because I think a lot of us in Guwahati know you, from a different eye altogether. But today I had the chance to actually know you personally, about your journey, and also a lot of other things that you have been through throughout your journey. So I'm really happy that you agreed to do this episode, first of all, and also, knowing the journey of a fashion model is something that I always wanted to know because TV में बहुत कुछ दिखाया जाता है. People say a lot of random things here and there, but I think coming from you there are a lot of things that is going to be cleared out. So thank you so much for doing this episode with me.
So, hi, I'm Aishwarya Mour. I'm 24 years old and I have been working as a freelance model since 6 years now. So, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So Aishwarya, can you please tell me and also the listeners why a fashion model? Why did you get into this industry? What made you interested to get into this industry altogether?
See, honestly, I had no plans. Like, I had zero idea about what modeling is, what is fashion modeling. I had zero knowledge. So, one of my relatives used to do a course from an institute here in Guwahati, which is the JV Institute. So, he did a course, he got into some shows and stuff. So, my parents also, they also started telling me, "Ki, you can do the course because I was in my first year of college. I had nothing much to do. कुछ वैसा था नहीं. तो लाइक ठीक है हाँ 6 मंथ्स का कोर्स है नॉट अ बिग डील करके देखते हैं कैसे क्या होता है एंड फॉर समबडी जीरो नॉलेज मीन जीरो नॉलेज मतलब कुछ भी नहीं उस टाइम तो अभी तो थ्रू इंस्टाग्राम एंड स्टफ वी हैव द एक्सेस टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स वी नो अबाउट almost everything in the world. Like, if not completely, we do know कि हाँ कैसे क्या है. But उस time तो since I had no interest, no thought about, तो मैंने कभी पढ़ा भी नहीं, कभी कुछ नहीं किया. I just knew कि what is modeling. हाँ modeling में क्या होता है, shows होता है. According to me, that was only कि ramp, you have to walk the ramp. मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि कितने तरह के modeling होते हैं, क्या होता है. ठीक है. So I signed up for the course. मैंने course किया 6 month का and then that time Facebook was the medium. Like Facebook used to be the medium, main social media जो भी हमारा था. So I started checking for auditions and through my course जो मेरी mentor है उन्होंने मेरे को एक दो लोगों का नाम बताया कि these are the people who have shows in Guwahati who put up good shows and you should audition for them and वैसे. तो मैंने वो सब किया. उसके बाद I did the course, auditions दिया, got into some of the fashion shows, and धीरे धीरे people started recognizing like I was a new face in the industry. So okay, there's a new face. Then I got asked for shoots. Then I like after I think when I started like after a year, like within a year I started doing shows and stuff. Like मैंने कोर्स किया 6 month का और वो शायद पूरे 6 month भी नहीं चला मेरा कोर्स. I completed it in around 3 to 4 months पे. उसके बाद I started auditioning immediately. एंड यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि यहाँ पे लाइक बिफोर कोविड ऐसा होता था कि यू हैव जून जुलाई में शोज और कुछ सितंबर अक्टूबर में दोज यूज्ड टू बी द पीक टाइम ऑफ फैशन शोज. बाद बाकी और नॉर्मल शूट तो वो एवरीडे थिंग है उसमें तो कोई इशू नहीं है. तो ठीक है मैंने किया. आई स्टार्टेड ऑडिशनिंग, सिलेक्शन हो गया, पीपल स्टार्टेड नोइंग मी, गॉट इनटू दिस एंड देन स्टार्टेड लविंग इट.
That's so nice. You never thought that you actually wanted to do something like this, get into the fashion industry, walking the ramp,
Exactly.
and never knew about something like this. But कहीं ना कहीं से आपको वो opportunity मिला and you grabbed it and you are actually doing it and you are loving it, and there are a lot of ifs and buts here, but yeah, absolutely. If there is a career which actually interests you, I think वहाँ से अपने आप ही वो love create हो जाता है. There's that romantic connection with your
Exactly.
career as well. And उसके बाद आप कुछ सोचते नहीं हो and you just give your best in whatever you do and however you do it because you love it. But coming from Guwahati, even I know how orthodox and what kind of mindset people of Guwahati can have because it's a small city and we are actually growing. It's not that progressive, but I think yes, हम लोग अभी एक step करके हर साल ऊपर आ
Hmm.
रहे हैं. But at that time, 6 years ago, when you started it, what kind of prejudices did you face from people? What kind of things that people tell you, ask you, or what was your parents' reaction also? How were they related to you doing this? Because I know सबसे पहला बात तो ये आ जाती है कि लड़की है तो कब तक बाहर रहेगा, क्या करेगा, this and that. Plus also people telling your parents, people telling your friends कि ये ऐसे करती है वैसे करती है, and you hearing a lot of things from here and there. So what were the things you faced and how did you tackle those things?
See, when obviously my parents were in full support day one, say they only pushed me to do the course and everything. When I got into it, and when my extended family, my nani and other people started knowing about it, obviously for them modeling itself they don't understand and उनको नहीं पता clearly कैसे क्या होता है. They were very skeptical about it कि ये मतलब पक्का ये करना है या जो भी या एक दो बार करोगी. Because see, for them it's like तुम्हारे फोटो इधर उधर नहीं आने चाहिए, कुछ ऐसा वैसा फोटो नहीं आना चाहिए. So obviously, and I don't mind because it's a concern. It's because I come from a Marwadi background. That also plays a very crucial part in this. Okay, they were all fine, and the best part, like what I feel is when I started to like abhi tak, whatever shows I have done, whichever shoots I have done, like it has been very good shows and shoots. कभी भी मुझे कोई problem नहीं हुई या कुछ भी. And my parents also, obviously, me जब मेरा कर्फ्यू आवर्स जो घर का कर्फ्यू आवर्स होता था दैट यूज्ड टू बी व्हाट 8:30. उसके बाद जाते कहाँ थे, कोई कहीं जाने को था भी नहीं. एंड आई वाज इन व्हाट, आई जस्ट पास माय 10th, आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग द कोर्स. तो व्हाट उस टाइम तो कहाँ घर, स्कूल से ट्यूशन, ट्यूशन से घर, दैट वाज द ओनली थिंग. But when I started doing modeling, my call time used to be 6 a.m. in the morning, and I used to be free by 1:30 in the night. And cab services and everything was very new to me. So my friends and everybody, my family, they were so much in support, and I have been very much blessed. I'll say that I got it, like it was a comfortable thing for me. मेरे को कभी भी उतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ या सोचना नहीं पड़ा कि मैं कैसे करूंगी, क्या करूंगी, कैसे आऊंगी and everything. So yeah, but one thing, and the main problem is when I started Instagram came after that, and when the whole Instagram hype happened, so then initially so it was all new to me. I used to feel very nice. Okay, now I'm busy, I'm doing this, that. Late by with time when people started knowing me, irrespective of the fact that I did not know them, but they started knowing me because कहीं ना कहीं से सुन के कि okay, there's this girl who is doing this. And so धीरे धीरे करके I started knowing that people are talking things about me. And then this Instagram where this thing came up, the confess out thing, the anonymous, where you can't know the name of the sender. So I received, so there was 80% people were complimenting, like you look so good and so pretty and everything. But the rest 20%, I have been so much abused there. That how did you get into modeling? You don't have a face, you don't have a body, you have nothing. Now so you have to keep putting makeup all the time. Now to just keep showing. And I don't understand. I did nothing. I just started something of my own. I never bothered anybody, but that's fine. Initially मेरे को फर्क भी नहीं पड़ रहा था. I did not think कि बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ. But with time, I realized that it started bothering me, because if I used to go somewhere and there were a group of strangers, like I don't know them, and they are looking at me, you can't understand what a person is thinking when they are looking at you. You'll never know what are they thinking. So I used to start getting paranoid. Ki, what are they thinking? Why are they looking at me? And like, is there something wrong or something? Am I looking over the top? Yeah, because see, when I started modeling and when I got into it, I groomed myself. I learned how you have to groom yourself, how to look presentable. I had no idea. So now if I see my sister, I have a younger sister. She's in what? She's in 12th standard. She knows it all because she has the access of social media and everything. For me, I started knowing about it from the work I kept on doing. So you have to look like this, you have to be well groomed, you have to have your nails, your hair, everything done. So, and that became my lifestyle, because I had shoots every alternate day. So I had to be the, how do I say, I had to look presentable all the time. I can't be looking जैसे मैं घर पे अगर if I'm chilling around or just बैठी हूँ, नहीं दिख सकती. So I don't know why people, and that thing took a toll on me, and beach me I slowed down a little bit, stopped giving auditions, and see, obviously थोड़े time बाद तो you don't need to give auditions when people already know you, and if they want to, they approach you. So when people used to approach me for that, we have a shoot, we have a show, I used to deny, because I used to feel that I won't be able to do it, because for me modeling was never a full-time thing. I always took it as a part-time only. I knew I was ठीक है, देखते हैं धीरे धीरे क्या, if I wanna switch to something else. So yeah, my family and friends have been full supportive, but obviously I can't stop other people talking about me, so that's there.
The biggest thing is that people actually directly start judging the factor कि ये तो अब influence हो जाएगा अलग अलग चीजों के कारण, and this person will go in a certain direction that they have in their mind, rather than actually knowing that person कि ये इंसान है कैसा. पहले वो तो देखो कि that person has some ideology, some principles. उसके बारे में पहले तुम जानो तो सही, and उसके बाद जज करो कि वो कुछ गलत करता है या सही करता है या जो भी करता है. People have this notion, and this is a lot in Guwahati and in Marwari people also a lot, that they judge a person directly, if they think that person is doing something out of the box, which I've seen a lot in the past few months also, past 1 year also. I've seen a lot of people doing new things. In the pandemic, a lot of people have started their own thing from home. कुछ भी हो, छोटा business हो, खुद का bakery हो, खुद का music का वो हो, कुछ भी हो. I have started something like this on my own, which I didn't know that I could. But I absolutely agree with you कि उस ज़माना, like उस time पे आप, before like 6 years ago, there was no access to a lot of things कि हम लोग ये सब चीज़ start कर सकते थे. And उस time वैसा कुछ start करना, plus you don't have the access to even things कि आपके बारे में exactly पता भी चले कि what you are and how you are doing. Instagram gave you that feature कि जहाँ पे आप अपने आप को portray कर सकते हो और आप क्या करते हो वहाँ दिखता है. That's your work profile basically. But at that moment, उस समय ऐसा था कि कोई भी कुछ भी बोल देता था and people used to believe it. अभी वैसा concept आने लग गया कि know that person and then judge and everything. So I completely agree कि that confess out वाला thing is something very ridiculous. And people, I think they might be jealous or envy करता होगा कि she started it, I couldn't, or something like that would have happened, I guess.
And the problem is, it did not happen once. It happened twice, thrice. Then I stopped doing it. I'm like, I can't take, like, there's a limit. You can take shit also.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I had reached my saturation point that I couldn't do it. मेरे को नहीं करना, मेरे को करना ही नहीं है, मुझे चाहिए ही नहीं.
Okay. So, coming from this, I really want to know how hard can be the life of a, fashion model be? in the sense, first it was without the internet, now there is internet and more competition. In that context, what do you think, how hard can it be for a model, fashion model, right now or before as well?
See, how hard is it? Obviously, it has become hard. Like I told you, when I started, I was a new face. So I used to get opportunities बहुत ज़्यादा कि shoots हो गए because everybody wanted a new face. धीरे धीरे what happens is your face, it's your face value. Now when there are more people coming into this profession, so everybody wants a new face एक time के बाद. But the problem here is, I feel, first thing is like people don't understand that there are people who do modeling as a full-time career thing, and and it's a profession. Like modeling itself is a profession, and people don't understand that. And there are people who are doing it as full-time, and there are people who are doing it part-time. Like I was doing part-time, so मेरे को कोई चीज उतना problem नहीं, मेरे को उतना problem नहीं होता because I knew I had to do something else. But then there are people who do it full-time. तो प्रॉब्लम होता है, then people come to you, their designers हो गए या कोई भी हो गया, they'll come, we have opened our brand and we don't have much budget, we want you to work for free. How can you ask somebody to work for free? But then there were girls also who just wanted कि ठीक है, I'll get a shoot done, मेरे तो photos आ जाएंगे. But that's not how it is. See, initially even I did not get paid. I think I got started getting my pay after a year, like, of working.
Okay.
Because I did not know how to pose. मेरे को कैमरे के साथ interaction कैसे करते हैं वो नहीं पता था. I learned in the whole process कि these are my profiles. I never knew what my profile was. Okay, if I standing ऐसे तो सब कुछ सीखते सीखते and then I started getting paid. So that doesn't mean. But then there are people who should charge, and there are people who should not ask models or anybody to work for free in that case, because it's a profession. It's a proper profession. You can't ask anybody to work for free. And competition, so obviously it has increased because now Instagram itself is a medium where you can showcase yourself and everything.
Yep.
So you have to. Abhi to aur zyada, it's like keeping up with the trends also, and I'm so naive in this. I have no idea. मुझसे होता ही नहीं. It's my sister who is like, you can do this. Like, let's try this. Let's do this. Because you have to, like, if you are into something, you have to trend. Be it anything. You just need to follow that. I have to do it. Like for you also, for example, you started your own podcast. If you do 1-2 episode and then you're gayab for 2-3 months, nobody is gonna remember. You won't have the same attraction towards your podcast which you have now. Same thing, like because of this whole COVID situation, shoots were not happening, shows were not happening. So the whole industry got down. Kuch nahi ho raha tha. Now, slowly it's picking up. Shoots are happening again. So yeah, competition has to increase a lot. It was much easier 2-3 years back. It was much easier.
As you said, your sister knows everything that you don't know, and you're naive around these things when it comes to trend and everything. Same goes for me. To be very honest, when I see, people around 18-19-year-olds right now just doing the trends, जैसे कि मतलब ऐसे हो ही जाता है उनसे. And we are just thinking कि कैसे करता, even if the trend is not about something fashion related or something, and it's about something that they say होता है ना अलग अलग तरीका का ट्रेंड. तो आई थिंक यार हम इसमें अपना कंटेंट को कैसे डालें. सो आई एब्सोल्युटली अग्री विथ यू कि आप अपने आप को कैसे शोकेस करते हो इन डिफरेंट ट्रेंड्स. दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज यू कांट जस्ट कॉपी एवरीथिंग एंड गो ऑन. क्योंकि आपको अपना खुद का स्टाइल लाना पड़ेगा. बट द ट्रेंडिंग थिंग इज गोइंग ऑन, बट आप उसको अपने कैसे बनाते हो, दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट. एंड यहाँ पे हमारा वो आइडियाज काम नहीं करता क्योंकि वी हैवंट बीन दैट वोकल एंड दैट आउटगोइंग टुवर्ड्स इंस्टाग्राम की हाँ वीडियो बना के बार डाले या कुछ करे, which your sisters knows. And
exactly.
It's really helpful that we have certain younger siblings around us कि जिनको ये सब चीज के बारे में idea and they can put it out.
She is a complete help. Shooting, editing, मुझे कुछ नहीं आता. I'm just there in front of the camera. I am doing nothing.
That is really nice. As you talked about the pandemic and the lockdown as well, I would really like to know what comes in your mind when we talk about, pandemic and mental health. When I say these two words, what is there that comes in your mind? Because when I think about it, I am like कि सब कुछ ही उथल पुथल बोलता है ना, like it's all upside down. Life has changed totally, and what it used to be, it's not that anymore. It's just 1.5 years ago that we could go out just like that without a mask and a sanitizer, without thinking कि यार
Oh
इससे
God.
कुछ होगा, मेरे को हो सकता है. Right now it's like every person has been a person कि उसको छूने से पहले we have to think twice कि यार is he sanitized, is he okay, has he been safe or something like that.
Exactly.
So what it is that comes in your mind when you hear these two words, that is mental health and pandemic?
See, so lockdown itself was a very new word for everybody. किसी को नहीं पता था कि what's a pandemic और क्या हो रहा है. So I remember March it was. I had some shoots lined up, and suddenly this whole 21 days wala thing happened. I'm like, ठीक है चलो, like we're gonna stay home. And in my family, like we are a family of 4, but 3 of us are working. My parents and me, we work. So we never got enough chance to stay together and like chill together. इतने सालों में. So it was very nice, very fun. 21 days तो आराम से, easy. उसके बाद it got extended. But I feel during the first lockdown, I think many of us will feel that everybody connected with their family more. We started talking, knowing, and everything. So, ठीक है. But then last year August, so because everything delay होते कुछ खुल रहा है, कुछ बंद हो रहा है. So I was diagnosed with depression 3 years back.
Okay.
So but then I was diagnosed and I was fine, because at that point I was busy. I had my college, my tuitions, and my shoots and shows and everything. So it did not bother me much that okay, something, because like I knew the word depression, but I never felt or never understood what it actually was.
Okay.
But still I was diagnosed. But ठीक है, I was chilling around. जो मेरा काम चल रहा था since last 3 years, I was doing that. Everything was okay. See, so there are trigger points, okay, and which I missed. That I was not feeling well or something, but I always ignored because my life was all cool. I was working and I was happy. But then in August last year, one evening, suddenly I broke down, and it was a very, very bad panic attack, and I couldn't control myself, and things went down, and it was a very difficult 10-15 days, I would say, that I was not liking anything. I was overthinking about everything, anxiety, full power, and it was very tough, very, very tough. Then, and so my mom knew that I was diagnosed with depression, but then since nothing was bothering me, because I have always been an outgoing person. I used to love going to work, then chilling in a cafe, and then going to home. So I had this routine, and because of the whole lockdown, I couldn't do it. So, but still, I never used to like staying home. That I'm just home and kahin jaane ko nahi hai. I still don't like it. It's like, even if I want to go for an hour, I'll go out for an hour. I'll come back, but then I just want to go out somewhere. So then this whole my breakdown happened, and my parents, then they understood, my friends also they understood, and then I started having the therapy. I consulted a psychologist, and so I had good 10 to 15 sessions of therapy. Therapy has helped it, because when you in therapy, when you talk to somebody, and since it's a professional, there's a psychologist with whom you're communicating. So I realized so many things, that So many things used to keep bothering me over the years, but I never knew that it was because of depression or I was having anxiety. Lately, I realized, okay, these are the points, these are the dots. Now it's connected, and now I know why that mental breakdown happened that day. So, yeah, but then what I feel personally is I don't know why people don't like or don't understand talking about mental health and they think it's a disease or something, but it's an illness and it has cure. ऐसा नहीं है, it can't be cured. It can be cured. And currently also I have days where I feel very low. I don't feel like doing anything. I can't get out of the bed. But if I compare myself with the Aishwarya I was a year back and with the Aishwarya now, so many things have changed. I have become a much better person I was. I've healed, and obviously I'm not completely fine. I still have a long way to go. I have to have my mental health in place again. It's not completely okay, but then I think it's gonna be okay because I'm working now. I realize that okay, these are my trigger points, and so I'm working on myself so that I'm at peace. At the end, what matters is if I'm at peace or not. And see, this is the reason why on Instagram or anything or on any social media platform, people judge you by what they see. They don't realize that what they see is what I choose to show them. I I I have never posted a picture or a video of myself crying or having a breakdown. So you don't know what's going on in somebody else's life. But then one thing I've realized in this 1 year that everybody is suffering from something or the other. And there are people out there who don't realize that they are suffering from anxiety and depression because they don't have the resources, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the access. And people feel ashamed about it for some reason. And initially, even I did not talk to everybody because I thought they might think that I need sympathy or something, but honestly, I don't. That's what I thought. That if I share something with somebody and they might think I need sympathy, and I never needed sympathy because what like the max a person can say is it's gonna be fine. But there are people there I have come across people who are like, no, you're overthinking, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, सब कुछ sorted है, your work is sorted, your relationships are sorted, everything is sorted. Then why depression? I'm like, if I would have known why depression or why anxiety, I would have cured myself. I had to never go for help or therapy or anything. But yeah, it's fine, it's gonna be fine. So pandemic and mental health has come together on my face and it's fine.
The biggest deal is, first of all, I would really like to say that kudos to you and more power to you. Being able to this vocal about mental health. As you said that, you used to think, people will judge you in a different way and give you sympathy or something like that. But, right now you know what you need. And the major thing is that you have acknowledged the fact that you have some illness and you will be okay. You will be okay. That is very, very, very important when it comes to anything related to mental illness, that yes, you are going to be okay. That is the factor that we need to acknowledge. But you have to work for it. You can't just leave it be. You have to work on the things that are your triggering points. As you said, right now you can connect the dots. Which thing triggers you? What are the things that you don't like in your life? Whatever it is, right now, because you acknowledge the fact that yes, you need to work on it. The biggest deal is that people don't understand. As you said, they don't understand what mental health can do. And I absolutely agree with you. 9 out of 10 people are suffering from some or the other mental health issue in this world. That's for sure. There's no statistics for that. This is just a thing that I am saying, or you're agreeing to, or you're saying I am agreeing to. But this is a very major problem that people are going to see in the coming years, where nobody is okay to talk to anyone because they think if they are going through something, the other person is going through something as well. And right now we actually need to talk about it. The biggest deal is that people need to start talking about their mental health issues to someone, or to
Yeah,
go for therapy, or do something about it and talk about it, rather than keeping it in themselves and thinking कि कोई judge
because
करेगा या कुछ करेगा.
I've realized one thing, like if somebody comes up to me and they're like, okay, मेरे life में ये problem है, my reply should not be, अरे ये तो कुछ नहीं, मेरे life में ये sometimes you don't have to answer also, just listen if somebody is sharing something to you and just ठीक है, if you don't want to give any opinion, ठीक है, just listen. And this thing I realized, just listen or try to understand, even if it's very difficult, because it has been difficult for my family and my friends also to understand what is bothering me. I used to freeze, I used to zone out so much, but lately I'm trying, and I am becoming a better version of myself. But yeah, things like these happen, and it's fine. It's completely fine. There's nothing wrong in this. There's nothing wrong in this.
The biggest realization I have in my life in the last 1 year, one of the biggest, I think, is listening. Having the chance to actually listen, rather than listening is what you just give your ears out and understand that person, what that person is saying. You don't reciprocate or say something to that person. Listening is just
Exactly.
understanding what that person is saying, and that is very, very important when it comes to someone telling you that that person is going through something, चाहे वो physical, mental, emotional, कुछ भी हो. This is very
Anything.
important. And we as human beings, I think I heard this somewhere, but this is very, very true, that we as human beings actually don't know how to listen. काफी ट्रेनिंग चाहिए होता है सुनने के लिए. छोटे से हम लोग अगर देखें तो I think there hasn't been a situation where we as human beings have actually listened to someone in the proper way of listening. We have always been that person जो या तो कोई सोल्यूशन देने के लिए रेडी, या तो हमारा कंपेयर करके बोलने के लिए रेडी, या उनका का, जैसे आपने बोला कि somebody says कि तुम्हारा लाइफ तो एकदम ठीक है, तुमको क्या सोचने का जरूरत है, ओवर थिंकिंग मत करो. यार अगर पता होता कि ओवर थिंकिंग कैसे नहीं करना है तो तब कब का कर चुका होता ना. That's the biggest thing people don't understand about it.
People say don't overthink. And like, I don't do it intentionally.
That's what. वो अपने आप हो जाता है. As you said कि zone out कब हो जाता है नहीं पता. You don't really know when you zone out, because पता होता तो हम लोग को like the thought process का chain ही ऐसा है कि we actually cannot connect कि कहाँ कौन सा, like if I'm thinking about this light right now, I think I'll go somewhere else. I know that if I'm overthinking, I don't know how it goes. And seriously, I have to say this out loud. To be very, very honest, you talking about mental health in this way, being this open, I think, having that experience to go through your own illness has given you the opportunity to learn about it and be more open-minded. I think that has happened to me as well. Because I think अगर education नहीं मिलेगा इसके बारे में, तो I don't think people will be more open about it, about mental health. जैसे होता है ना, as you said, it's not a disease, it's an illness. It can be cured. Disease ऐसा होता है कि some diseases are कि हाँ सबको touch होके हो जाता है. Mental illness सबको touch होके नहीं होता. If you are in a person's space, that person has depression, you won't get depression until and unless you are a person who has that magic कि तुम contract कर सकता है. तुमको depression ऐसे नहीं होगा.
One thing that really bothers me is nowadays people use the term depression and anxiety so easily. They're like, I'm so depressed, I'm having anxiety. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just sad. You're just not feeling good about the situation. Because depression is something that kills you from inside, and it's not easily नहीं ये word use किया जाता है कहीं पे भी. You just can't. You can't do that. And I really want people to understand that.
वही वो तो बात है ना, मिसयूज ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन भी तो हो गया कि हाँ अगर आपको डिप्रेशन के बारे में पता चल गया वो तो डिप्रेशन में चले जाएगा कि उसका ब्रेकअप हो गया. दैट डजंट हैपन. दैट पर्सन कैन बी ओनली सैड एंड लोनली. ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगा, मतलब खाली लोनली फील करेगा या सैड फील करेगा. दैट पर्सन विल क्राई. डिप्रेशन तब तक आपको नहीं बोलना चाहिए जब तक कोई एक प्रोफेशनल आपको डायग्नोज नहीं कर देता. जैसे कि आपको नहीं पता कि वो कैंसर है, जब तक आपको डॉक्टर नहीं बोलता या आपका टेस्ट नहीं बोलता, वैसे ही आप नहीं बोल सकते कि आपको डिप्रेशन या एंजाइटी या कुछ है। ओसीडी किसी को भी हो जाता है यार, नथिंग, ऐसा नहीं होता कि ओसीडी किसी को भी अगर उसको साफ सफाई करने का बहुत ज्यादा वो है, nobody is like that. You have to be diagnosed with these things, then you will have these kinds of problems which is related to your mind. That is also needed, like the diagnosis is needed at that place as well. People need to understand that.
It is totally.
And to be honest, I can make this whole episode about mental health by going on and going on, but I need to change the topic right now because there has been a lot of talks already. And so the next question that I really want to ask you is that as this profession is something not a lot of people know the depth about, right? सबको इंटरनेट से देख लेंगे, सब कुछ कर लेंगे, लेकिन सबको पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है नहीं. What is the most weirdest question that you have ever been asked about this profession, about you working as a fashion model?
See, the most weird question would be like, you had to do anything to get there? Like, no, that's not how it is. And nobody, like, I'll tell you from my experience, if you don't want to do something, it doesn't make you feel right, you don't have to do it. Nobody's gonna force you. And I don't know why people have that thought that you have to do something to get somewhere. It's not necessary. So yeah, this is the most common plus the most weirdest question I've ever.
Don't you think this question is only asked to women and not men? I mean, male.
It is.
It is, right?
It is, but then we have no idea that, see, be it anybody, be a man or a woman, anybody can be harassed. It's just that people think, okay, it's a girl, it's a woman, so it's much more, it's a topic to talk about, but then I'm pretty sure so many guys out there must have gone through so much and they just can't talk about it because nobody listens. Nobody cares much about.
The biggest thing is patriarchy, I think, because we have this notion that obviously women are the weaker, so they will be harassed more. लड़का वो कैसे कर सकता है, लड़का कैसे होगा, वो इसलिए किया. I really don't want to.
हुआ ही नहीं होगा, ऐसा
वही बात है.
नहीं हुआ होगा.
ये भी तो हो सकता है. That is the option as well, right? But even if it happens to a person, as you said, that there are many people who have gone through, they have been harassed and they can't talk about it. I think it's because of the society that we live in, जहाँ पे ये notion हमेशा रहा है कि लड़का तो रोक सकता था, उसको मजा आ रहा होगा तभी वो किया. ऐसा नहीं होता है. I being a straight person, straight male, I know harassment अगर हमको भी अगर कोई करे ना, तो I know how अजीब सा it will feel. To be very, very honest. So it's not that हम लोग को मजा आता है. There are a lot of prospects and there are a lot of perception you have to go through before judging someone. That is very, very important, I think, in this whole world that we live in. But one kind of advice that you would like to give to anyone who is in this fashion industry, want to get into this industry, or is still working on it and are stuck somewhere, what kind of advice would you give?
See, advice is, if anybody wants to get into fashion modeling or modeling, you should. It's a profession. It's a legit profession. ऐसा नहीं है that people do it for fun or for just time pass. And if you're really crazy, like if you really like being in front of the camera, like I realized that I used to always love being in front of the camera, and modeling has helped me get more, like it has helped me to love what I do, because I would never want to do something which I'm not enjoying. 9 to 5 job सब करते हैं, मैं भी करती हूँ, मैंने पहले भी किया है, but I have always worked in places where I have enjoyed working, be it modeling, be it any job also. So for me, I still enjoy modeling. I still enjoy the whole process of dressing up, shooting, all the chehel pehel jo bhi before the shoot, after the shoot, everything. So yeah, if anybody wants to get into this and is really interested, you definitely should. There's no ऐसा कुछ नहीं है that if you're very thin, if you're not thin, कुछ भी है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Just work on yourself and it's gonna be fun. It's like you can आराम से. It's just nice. It's a very beautiful process. It's very nice. It makes you feel beautiful. And what else do you need?
Okay, one important thing that a person should have if that person needs to get into the fashion industry. What do you think that can be? Any person, any background, any gender, anything.
I think the basic thing is confidence. Like, I used to lack confidence so much. I was so not confident. Like, for example, on my social media handles also, you never see me having a video posted in which I'm speaking or I'm talking.
Okay, yeah.
Because I still have that thing that I can't talk in videos. I can't talk, like, I can't do interactive. I have never done a live session ever. So yeah, this podcast thing also, I thought it's gonna be audio only, but no, it's not. So now I was a little skeptical, but then I'm like, "ठीक है, चलो, it's just a fun interaction, so it doesn't matter." But then I don't know. So yeah, confidence, and I kid you not, I have built so much confidence over the years of how to talk to people, how are you supposed to answer, how you are supposed to stand, sit, anything, any and everything requires confidence. Because in modeling, when you are in front of 10,000 people at once, I remember the situation when it was a show and I was the first person to start the thing. I was so paranoid. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't be the first person. Itne log hai. I used to lack confidence so much. But then I worked on myself, and yeah, if one thing you need, like anybody, it's not about modeling. I think it's for everything. You just need some good amount of confidence in yourself that at least you can present, or bad baki cheez you can learn in the whole process. But then just to present yourself, you need confidence.
And do you think that comes when you actually challenge yourself and come out of your safety box or that comfort zone that we say? That does it come from that also sometimes?
Yeah, completely. Because initially when I started shooting, तो कोई shoots Shillong होते थे या outskirts of the city. I have to be like, okay, I'll be traveling alone. Like, it's a complete group of strangers only. We are a team, but then there used to be people jinke saath I was working for the first time, be it a makeup artist, a designer, or a photographer. I'm like, will it be safe? How will I be able to cope up and everything? Like when we used to travel, I once traveled to Delhi also, and like, okay, I'm traveling outside the city completely with no idea, and Delhi भी शायद वो मेरा second time था, so I wasn't familiar with that city also. So yeah, so these situations only help me boost my confidence more that no, I can do that. Because for me, I'm like, okay, I have to board a plane and I don't know कैसे क्या करते हैं. उतना भी confidence नहीं था कि खुद से वो भी कर सकते हैं. But slowly and steadily you learn things, and yeah, it helped me. It helped me.
So I would really like to know, this thing that is coming, like, people are being more vocal about what they want to wear and how they want to wear things right now. And the whole fashion thing is getting into a fluidity of any gender. It's not that only one person can wear one certain type of cloth. Anything, anyone can wear it. वहाँ हम लोग अभी धीरे-धीरे जा रहे हैं. As a whole, like, पूरा human civilization somewhere is going to that concept where people can wear anything they want, they can do anything they want in their own way until and unless it's not harming someone else. So what would you say if I say the sentence like makeup for men? What do you think about that? Do you have anything that you want to add up here?
So makeup for men, I don't understand like where it is written or who have told other people that men can't use makeup, because it's not something which is only made for females. And now we can see that people are like, there are guys out there doing crazy ass makeup, and like, oh god, I can't even do a eyeliner, normal eyeliner, and these guys are killing it with their thing, and it's so good to see because it's just really nice and really beautiful to see, because makeup is an art and people people need to, like, I can't draw, like I told you, I can't draw a normal liner, and there are people who are doing crazy work, and they're so creative, and thankfully now they have a medium to show that
Absolutely.
okay, we can do this, we can do different kinds of makeup uh, thing on your face, and people are doing such good stuff with everything, and it's crazy, and it's really nice to see, guys, because it's not, you can't generalize thing, you can't just say ki, this is made for females only or this is made for males only. It's not, there's nothing which, I don't think things like these have to be categorized, and it's just anybody who wants to do anything in their life and who enjoys it, you should do it. You should do it. You should never think that what people are gonna think, or because people are gonna talk anyways.
Anyway.
Anyways, तुम कुछ ही कर लो.
No, though,
So, yeah.
I am, this thing started when I talked to one of the persons, like one gay person on my podcast, like when I started the whole thing. And I talked to him about a lot of things related to makeup, related to fluid fashion. And I got this concept that, yes, when I started this whole podcast, I was not that woke enough and not that open enough. I learned the things because of this whole journey. मेरे को समझ में आया कि even हम अभी nail paint लगा रहा है यार. I never thought
I
that
noticed.
I could do that, but I love it because I like nail. I used to like nail paints before also, but कभी हम portray नहीं कर पाया because वैसे friend circle नहीं थे, वैसे open minded लोग नहीं थे. And now my mom helps me put on nail paint. She asked me कि कुछ और
Which
चाहिए
is
क्या.
so good.
That is very good. I asked her on her face कि आपको कोई problem नहीं है करना. बोलो नहीं करो ना, जो मन में आए वो करो. That is also a very huge thing to say from a person who has not seen that much openness around her. Like उस हिसाब से. And my dad has never commented on these things. And this has helped my brother also somewhere to actually be open enough about these things, and he is being also vocal about this. वो खुद apply करता है आजकल. And this has been a very strange but very happy journey for me, because that's why I wanted to ask you this question, because makeup for men is not something new. This has been there a very long time, जहाँ पे queer people लगाते हैं, वही उनको बस कभी जरिया नहीं मिला, जो आपने अभी बोला कि वो जरिया नहीं मिला. अब उनको वो जरिया मिल रहा है through Instagram and YouTube and everything, जहाँ पे वो पोर्ट्रे कर पा रहे हैं. And these are only the people who can actually access these things. जो नहीं कर पाते वो लोग तो अलग से है ही. So that's what people need to know, कि these things have been going on for generations. बस अभी आपके आँख में अभी आना चालू हुआ है. And I'm happy that people are accepting they are acceptable about these things. And the biggest realization is कि open mind रखना is very important, because there are a lot of things that are going to change in the coming generations. Like people are going to be so vocal, so open enough about things. ये छोटे बच्चे लोग अलग ही तरीके के.
Exactly. Today morning only I was just going through YouTube to watch something interesting, and I came across a YouTube video. It's a gay couple, and they were just sharing their story of coming out and how difficult it was. And the moment I read the caption, it's like this person's coming out story, like they had to pass, like how like the first time, how people used to marry before, when you can't talk about it, when you're not allowed to talk about it. Like how would you suppress something like this about your liking, about your sexuality? How could you just suppress yourself?
Absolutely.
And it's so beautiful to see people coming out, and they're proud about it. They're not ashamed anymore, and they are right there. I am a gay couple, I am a lesbian, and I'm cool with it. And it's so beautiful to see people doing that.
That's what, na? Agar hum log, we can't even put ourselves in their shoes here, because pushing someone to actually suppress what they are, what they identify as, is a very very big deal. और जहाँ पे हम लोग यहाँ पे अगर मुझे कोई बोल दे कि you can't go out, that will be a very huge thing for me. That person actually can't portray themselves as them. उनको खुद को बाहर निकलने में इतना वो हो जाता था, like they can't be themselves. They have to be what the society wants them to be. and that is a very huge
Exactly.
deal. But it is,
It is. It is.
it's really important for people to actually understand this thing, I believe. Okay, moving on to the next question, I would really like to know how can we people who are not in the fashion industry support people on the fashion industry? What should we do? What can we do? What should be our mindset? Anything?
In that regard, I would like to say that the most, like the maximum help which people can do is realizing and recognizing modeling as a profession. I have been telling the same line in the entire podcast itne time because I've seen people don't. They're like, हाँ आजकल तो कोई भी शूट करता है. There's a difference. Everybody has their own social media handle. You shoot for your page, but then a model is working for brands.
Yep.
That's why they're called models. Anybody can shoot. As if I have a brand, suppose I have a clothing brand, I can ask my sister to also shoot for it. But then if I want it professionally done, I'll need to talk to a model. I'll need to hire a photographer. I'll need to hire a complete team to do that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is the advice I want to say, that please just don't think you can get things done for free. And this just, if you want good shit, you want to pay good money. You want to pay people so that you get good shit done.
Yeah, absolutely. Acknowledge the person's efforts as well and acknowledge the person's talent as well. That is also very important.
Exactly.
That's what you're paying for. That person is portraying your brand, your clothing thing in a different way, and that you are asking that person to work for you, for your brand. So you need to pay, you need to acknowledge that person as well. So my last question for this episode to you is something that I would really like to know personally as well, and I have been asking this to a lot of people, and I have got different learnings from everyone. So I would really like to know what kind of differences do you see in yourself, rather than the confidence thing that you have been talking about. But if we leave that part, what kind of difference do you see in yourself if you compare Aishwarya from today and the Aishwarya who was 6 months ago?
I was immature. I was dumb. I was naive. I had no self-confidence. I have nothing. I did not know how to dress up, nothing. So if I compare myself with the Aishwarya 6 years back and Aishwarya now, I'm so proud of myself that I have done, and I have come I have worked hard. I know I worked hard for this, and it has also, I have been rewarded for it also, and that's the best part. Like, I'm super proud of myself.
For the people who are listening and can't watch the video, I can actually see the glow on her face right now when she's saying she is so proud of herself, which is very rare for people. But to be honest, hats off to you. That is very good. That is what people actually need in their life, to be proud of themselves, then give the opportunity to someone else to actually be proud of you. And kudos to you, more power to you to be able to share your journey about your mental health, about your opinions and your thought process, because it's not that easy for being vocal. And why are you actually not talking about things on camera? You are so good talking about things. You know so much stuff. You have so much ideas. To be very honest, you have certain things that you can talk about on camera, and I am literally saying it doesn't feel like you are nervous, or it doesn't feel like you can't do it. To be very, very honest, if this is something that you did for the first time, please go on camera and talk about things that you want.
This is legit the first time. The first time.
Please do it. It's amazing. I haven't had the chance to actually see you being nervous or being awkward or don't know how to answer shit, because you have been confident here. As you said, your confidence level has increased to a different level altogether. And here you are breaking another boundary for yourself to be actually more comfortable in front of the camera. So hats off, kudos, and thank you for doing this episode with me today, Aishwarya. It's been really fun and I enjoyed a lot. I really enjoyed the talking with you, and I'm really happy that, I haven't seen people from Guwahati to have that kind of mindset that easily, but I'm very, very, very happy to see you talking about these stuff. I knew you would be able to, because you have seen the industry from inside. You have met those kinds of people who have had different backgrounds and have dealt with difficult shit, and that is very important to understand these kinds of things as well. So thank you so much for your insights, for your sharing your journey, and to be on my podcast. It was a very, very great episode for me. So thank you so much.
I just want to say that if anybody was interested, like if anybody is interested in fashion modeling and anything, and if they wanted to know about my journey, I would say it was and it is very, very, very beautiful, and I enjoy every bit of it. Yay!
Thank you so much everyone for listening to this episode. If you like my content and still haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do it now and help me grow. And if you like the episode today, please like, share and comment as well. And I have shared a few links down on the description below. Please give a follow. Also, my podcast is available on various other platforms. The link to them are on the description below. Thank you so much everyone. Next episode next Saturday.